we gon' rise in the jungle we unite in trippin' orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who got 'em, who rockin' on? Now who want 'em, who crossin' on? Now who want 'em, who bought 'em? If you got stripes, then you let the city know you rock 'em. Yeah, we got 'em, yeah, we fought 'em. Like that black and orange up on 'em. Single bottle, never stop it. To the beast and load 'em. Who they rockin' with the diamond stripes? Flossin' on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen. We gon' show the world who king. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly.
Welcome to Bengals and Brews. I'm Del Altman, joined by BSG, Arrow, and Cincinnati Bengals defensive assistant coach, Coach Mark Duffner. How's it going today, guys?
It's going great. Going great, and thanks for having me on.
Oh, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it, Coach. You've had a long coaching career. Started all the way back in 1975, at least according to Wikipedia. You can correct me if Wikipedia is wrong on any of this. Graduate assistant with Ohio State for a couple of seasons. I wanted to start the Ohio State University.
The Ohio State University. Yeah, no, I was very, very fortunate to start off in coaching under probably one of the finest coaches ever, and that's Woody Hayes. And so I was able to go up there and be a graduate assistant there, get my master's degree, and get in college coaching at that time.
Yeah, that's incredible. So what kind of was it like coaching with Woody Hayes? And then also the second part of that, Archie Griffin, just how great he was, still the only two-time Heisman winner in college history.
Well, first and foremost, working for Coach Hayes and learning coaching and college football was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. The man had a photographic memory. He had tremendous work ethic, was a very high character person, high energy guy, well organized. I mean, it was every day to me, it was like I was pinching and going, am I here? I mean, you got to be kidding me. This is the greatest thing. And then, so it was a blessing really to learn from him and his staff. We had a great staff. We were undefeated and lost in the Rose Bowl one year. The next year we won in the Orange Bowl. So, I mean, a tremendous situation, Big Ten champions both years that I was there. And then you asked about being around Archie. I mean, what a privilege that was. I mean, really at that time, the best college football player, not only in one season, but 2 seasons as the Heisman Trophy. And as good a player as Archie Griffin is, he's even a better man, a better person. He was a team-first player and everything that you'd want in a player, both as an athlete and certainly as a leader and as a high character person. So again, tremendous being around that and seeing his production and play.
Yeah. So Coach, I want to ask you this. What is it like right now? What is your daily schedule like right now? I can't imagine you have too many breaks probably, but what's your schedule like now at this time of year?
Well, at this time of year, my personal schedule, and it's similar to the rest of the coaches, if you want to work out, we get in here at about 6:15 in the morning and get a workout in for about an hour till about 7:15, and then we're in meetings. We're in staff meeting, we're in special teams meeting, we're in unit meetings, offense and defense. We may have a team meeting in there, and then position meetings. That's going to go on till about 10:45, and then we have a walkthrough that starts at 11:15. That goes on till about 12:10. And then after the walkthrough as a team, we have lunch, and then we're on the field for the afternoon practice. That'll go till about 4:10. We'll have dinner till about 5:30. Time for dinner there. Then we have meetings till probably 7:30 with the players, and then there's preparation and work as a staff after that, for the next day. So it's a compact day or a full schedule day, let's say that way. But we've been gearing up for this and doing things preparation for it all year long. So it's a well organized day and well organized schedule that Coach Taylor and the staff put together in terms of getting the team and the staff ready for the season.
Oof. No free time. It sounds like no coaching.
Actually, I'm getting a little break right now. Being with you guys, I'm taking that. Which, thank the Lord. But no, it's and then there's also coaches put a lot of thought into rest periods and things like that for the players in terms of how the day is structured and or the weeks are structured. So, well, not just a seat of the pants plan, but a well thought out plan with a lot of input from staff and players to put together.
And then you were first with the Bengals from 97 till 2002, linebacker coach, defense coordinator, a couple seasons. What was it like coaching guys like Brian Simmons and Takeo Spikes back in those days? Those two incredible linebackers.
Well, it was, that was, again, a thrill of a lifetime. I mean, I was head coach at Maryland University of Maryland when Brian was playing at North Carolina. So I saw Brian across the field a few times and saw him make a million plays. And so I was pretty intimately aware of him and the quality of player that he was. Takeo on film, and so to get both of those in, I think it was the '98 season, they were rookies, and I'm coaching them both. They're both first-round picks. I mean, it was like, thank you, God, or thank you, Santa Claus. I mean, it was tremendous. And again, being excellent players, but both of them terrific people. I still stay in touch with them actively today, and what a privilege it was for me to work with them. I learned a lot from working with them, and so it was terrific. They were both quality players and people.
Absolutely. Speaking of Takeo Spikes and Brian Simmons, do you see any similarities compared to them with the linebackers now, Jermaine Pratt and Logan Wilson?
Yeah, I do. Jermaine's got more of the stature that Brian had. Brian was had a good length guy. Now, Brian was an exceptional athlete. Brian probably was a little faster than Jermaine is right now, and we could put him on anybody to cover. He had that kind of athletic skills. I think Jermaine's kind of a combination, the length of Brian and probably the more the physicality and key inside run type game that Takeo had. There is a lot of similarities. They both played well together. That's what those two guys did. They were like peanut butter and jelly. You couldn't have one without the other. And I'd say that Logan and Jermaine have that kind of connection together. Logan's got excellent movement skills. One of the best blitzing linebackers that I've been around, especially early in his career, showing that he had the ability to not only get there, but then have something to him to pursue and pressure the quarterback. So we've got a very good tandem here with those two guys. And then, a team, you can't take him out of the mix. This guy's got real good movement skills, and I think that we're going to get him more involved in the scheme a little bit. So it's a good group of linebackers, for sure.
Absolutely.
Getting a little background road noise from Derek driving there, so I'll mute
that.
No,
I thought that was the Steelers. That might have been the Steelers. I wasn't sure where that was coming from.
Yeah, no doubt. So along with, you're in all the different meeting rooms, you're helping out with the entire defense, probably some focus with linebackers at times, but what is kind of the responsibilities of a senior defensive assistant coach, that you've had with the Bengals here these past 5 seasons?
Well, starting early on, it was kind of maybe being around quite a bit and helping Coach Lou with the game plan and helping the other coaches, especially the linebacker coach, a little bit where I could, if I could offer any of my background experience as far as that's concerned. But more recently, the last 4 years, really, I've been specifically working a lot with the edge guys, and that being Hubbard and Hendrickson and Osai and Sample and so forth, those guys, and Miles Murphy. It's been a great experience having that too. And so I help them on first and second down a little bit. Coach Hobby does a tremendous job as our defensive line coach with the entire group. But I've got some input with that, especially on first and second down with those guys. So I appreciate that opportunity too, in addition to what I can do I help with short yardage and goal line and different parts of the game plan or my full responsibilities. And so that backed up first 15 plays, things like that. I'm going to present and as a staff, and then we'll come up collectively under Lou's leadership with what the game plan will be. But anywhere that I can help, I'm here to do that, and feel very, again, appreciative to be back in Cincinnati, back working with the Bengals for these, now my 6th season this time too. And it's just been a tremendous experience. I owe a tremendous amount to Mr. Brown, When I came here from Maryland in '97, shoot, I didn't know much about pro ball. I was a college coach for 22 years, and I had something to do with that. But I learned a lot about pro ball from him and from Pete Brown and from the staff at that time. Bruce Cosett hired me. Coach LeBeau was here. So, I mean, you talk about a bunch of guys that really were excellent coaches and great to learn from. I had it. And so thank God for that. I'm very appreciative for all that.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Derek.
I was just going to say, speaking of the DNs, we've got a couple guys there that seem to be having some health issues. Does it seem like everybody's going to be okay as far as that goes?
Yeah, I think that if we're going to have any issues, we want to have them now. And as far as this point of the season, both Mr. Hubbard, both Sam and Trey had tremendous off seasons. I don't know that we had anybody on the team truly, and that's not me being biased, that worked any harder than those two guys. I mean, they are in tip-top shape. They have a couple nicks right now in terms of where they're at health-wise, but they're out there every day. They're training where they can. They're doing rehab. They're going through the meetings. I feel good about them. Miles had a little hydration issue yesterday at practice. It was hotter than Hades out there. If you were there, it was humid as heck, and we needed a good day like that first day in pads, really. And so we had a hell of a good practice. I mean, Coach had a very strong practice plan, and they did it. It was physical, and so just kind of what we needed coming out of the blocks in full pads. But I feel right now that all of our guys at this moment are in good shape, and we just got to keep working them hard and keeping them healthy as best we can.
Absolutely.
Speaking of the pads, these defensive guys got to be chomping at the bit. I'm sure they were looking forward to those matchups.
Well, they were. You can only be in shorts for so long, and the league rule and a good league rule is you have to be out of pads for X number of days to get acclimatized to the weather and conditioning, et cetera. And so, but practicing football without pads, and these guys are smart. They're going to keep everybody healthy, but to try to get done what you want from a speed standpoint and a timing standpoint, it's a pretty physical deal without pads. Now, when you put the pads on, then it even tempos up more than that. So, they were anxious to get into pads. And like I said, I thought we had that was probably the most physical. It was the most physical practice that we've had in the 6 years I've been here with them. And so it was a great afternoon for us, I thought.
And then Will's got a question here from the chat. How fun was it at Holy Cross to coach with Kevin Coyle and when they had Gordy Lockbaum in the Heisman running?
Well, that's a great question. First of all, Coach Coyle and I go way back. We started coaching together. It was my second season over at UC. This was 1978. I was a defensive coordinator at University of Cincinnati, and we were able to get Kevin Coyle in as a graduate assistant at that time. And then when I went to Holy Cross as a defensive coordinator, we were able to get him back with us there too. So, and then we coached here together. When I came here after, I think my fourth year, we were able to get him in here as a secondary coach or one of the secondary coaches. So Kevin and I go way back as far as coaching at different locations. Great coach and quality person. And then I had recruited Gordy Lockbaum when I was the coordinator to Holy Cross as our running back, and then really as a defensive back. But then he'd been a running back anyway. When I became the head coach, we opted to, because we were short of players, we opted to put him in a kind of a two-way player role, of which he certainly made, the team made into a tremendous situation for us. He wound up being fifth in the Heisman his junior year and wound up being third in the Heisman his senior year. And actually, as a senior, he got the most first place votes. He didn't win the Heisman, but I think Tim Brown did that year. But for a 1AA program to have a Heisman Trophy guy, that's certainly
insane.
Well, it certainly was, reflective of the quality of person that Gordy was, and certainly the teammates that he had.
Absolutely. That's incredible to hear. Go ahead, Greg.
Hey, so we got a question from Dustin here. Mark, have you noticed in your career players that are rhythm players and players that can come in for a few plays and make huge splashes? Kind of feel that Charlie Jones is a rhythm player.
I have noticed there are players that can contribute in different roles, and that's something that every year you've got to hopefully evaluate players in the best way possible to allow them to be playmakers. But what are their roles? Can they come in and be a pinch hitter, or can they come in there and be a guy that's always in the lineup? And so I like the way that you presented that, Troy presented that. I do think that he is a heck of a player. I'll promise you that. And he's got explosive ability. He's shown that as a returner. He's shown that as a receiver. And with the group of receivers we have, which it really is a real one of the strengths of our roster here, I think Charlie's going to be a factor for us for sure. He's a very steady player, meaning you can count on him. He's going to be ready at any moment. He's like a minute man. You call him in, he's ready to roll. So I think that, and we've got other players like that too. And that's what makes a team, we think, a championship type program.
Oh, yeah.
While we're talking receivers, I want to what are your thoughts so far early on with Akeem Butler, who they brought in, who kind of earned his opportunity in the XFL or whatever, UFL, whatever it's called now. I can't keep up with it. But
UFL,
I know it's a stacked room, but he's a guy who's shown the little flashes that we've seen in some clips at least.
Without a doubt. Really a great pickup by our staff here, our pro staff, in terms of their evaluation and so forth. I mean, this guy came in, first of all, he's got, like you said, the length and the wingspan that you want. My God, he's like the dang Mississippi River. He can go out so high. But he made in the workout that he had, he flashed for sure. He made some great catches. But geez, so Pete, in practice, he's made a couple plays right now. They're wow. I mean, they're wow. And his work ethic is excellent. And keep in mind this, he did just come off of a full football season. So the wear and tear that does is not to be underestimated. So I'm very impressed with him right now and what I see and what I think he can bring as he's competing to make this team. The length, the ability to catch, the target that he gives Joe and our quarterbacks, I think it's been a really good addition. Great pickup.
Hey, Derek, you have a question?
He's on mute right now.
Oh, he's on mute. Oh, okay. Speaking of talking about training camp players, Mark, is there just that guy? It can be offense, defense, special teams, whatever. Is there that player that you just keep seeing making plays like, oh my gosh, this guy's just making play after play at training camp? Is there that one player you're like, oh my gosh, this guy could be a heck of a contributor this season?
Well, actually we've got more than one, and that have kind of stood out to me right now. And a lot of them, first of all, I'd say I've been impressed with Dax Hill and what he's showing right now at the corner position. He and DJ Turner both. I mean, we've got some real speed and athleticism back there, and the coaches are continually work on their techniques and their exposure so their experience level picks up. That's what you have to work on, their ability to key and diagnose, to read indicators and play. But geez, the athleticism they've shown has been excellent. Geno Stone and what he's brought into the safety. I thought, if you blink your eye or you close your eye, he's probably been here for a lot longer than he has. He's shown that quick adaptation to the scheme. Of course, having Vaughn Hill back and what he can do and what he brings not only as a player. And I told him just a week ago, I said, Vaughn, I'm not so sure you're not faster than I've ever seen you. And he felt like he's like that. But I mean, when you watch the tape, he's in position making plays with his feet that are, to me, looks better than ever. So I'm not so sure he's not faster. But that group back there has really flashed to me. But I mean, and then the rest of the players. I mean, I've really been impressed with Akeem, as I mentioned to you, his footwork and his movement at linebacker, really moving well. And then, up front, I like what I see out of our two young guys, Chris Jenkins and McKinley, inside. I think that's good. And I'll tell you another guy that, boy, if you watched yesterday one-on-one pass rush, Sheldon Rankins, he is a quick man. I'll tell you that right now. And he's also a strong guy, And so defensively, we've had some really, really good additions through the draft and also through free agency. Another young rookie that we've got is Josh Newton. We affectionately call him Fig, but he that rascal can play and has shown both athleticism and toughness and competitiveness. So there's a lot of guys right now that are certainly catching everybody's eye around this camp.
Absolutely. And then so one guy with sorry, Derek, go ahead.
No, that's my. I was just going to reiterate that. That was one guy that, just from watching clips and stuff, Josh Newton. It seems like he was a play. He's a player that he to me he looks like he should have been drafted higher than what he was.
Well, excellent evaluation. We may have to consult with you next year during the draft. He actually was ranked by a lot of people higher than he actually went. Thank God for the Bengals that we were able to get him when we did. And to be frank with you, maybe he even thinks that because he's come in with, sometimes these players are told different things in terms of the draft, and they may think this and think that. Well, ultimately he did get drafted, but he's had a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. He does have something to prove, and that's another bonus in terms of the way you want a player. You want players that are hungry, that are anxious to continue to improve and get better. His attitude coming into the OTAs when he arrived was spectacular. He wanted to learn. He wanted to sit next to the best players we got, learn and watch them. And very competitive young man, a very mature young man for a young fella in terms of the way he approached coming to the ball club.
I was just going to ask kind of about Jordan Battle, how he's doing in camp. I thought he played really well last year during the second half of the season, especially when he kind of had more responsibility. How's he looking? I know, we brought in Geno, we brought back Vaughn, but I still think there's a role for him no matter what it ends up being.
No question about it. And he's played well. I mean, this is – I got to be careful, but I say that what I'm going to say to you is this. I have felt that this is the most competitive team that we've certainly had since I've been in Cincinnati at all positions in terms of who's competing. We got high numbers of players competing to start across the board, and not just to win a couple of spots, but I mean the best I've seen, and it may be. This is my 28th year in the NFL. It may be the most competitive roster that I've been around, and I'm not saying that to be hooday or anything else. I'm saying it to tell you the truth. And again, the credit for that goes to Tobin and his staff, Mike Brown and his leadership in the selection processes, and certainly the coaching staff under Zach Taylor. I mean, we've got we got a long way to go.
Absolutely.
But we've got fierce competition at all these spots where there's starters that we're hoping to have 3 starters at a 2-player position. That's the best you can be, and we're hoping to have the tough decisions on who's going to do this, who's going to do that. But it also allows Lou and Zach and Pitch as the coordinators to take advantage of role playing where we can take guys that are like that they come in this situation or that situation against this personnel or this down and distance or this field position to make us even better. So when you look at it across the board, receivers, tight ends, offensive line, quarterbacks, I mean, Joe's a guy, but how well that Jake played for us last year. I mean, every position has gotten better. The punting situation that we've got right now, I mean, across the board, the situation, whether it be defense, offense, or special teams, there's very steep competition, and we want that.
Yeah. Go ahead, Greg.
I mean, you look at the receiver room. I mean, Trenton Irwin could be your 6th receiver, and Trenton Irwin could easily be a number 2, and number 3 for multiple teams right now. I mean, you look at the receiver room, the tight end room that they load up. Absolutely. My question to you is, what is it like guarding all those receivers and tight ends in practice, like that offense right now?
What is it like? It's the fact that our coaching staff right now is on sleep deprivation. I mean, you can't sleep at night. I mean, geez, Pete. I mean, there's not sometimes you kind of hope you get a breather here and there in terms of who they put out on the field. I mean, geez. I mean, and that's how you want it to be. That's how we're going to be better as a team. You want the highest level of competition. As you guys have learned since you were little guys, you want to play against the best. That's how you get better. You don't get better where it's your competition level's low. Well, in this league, as we all know, every week, every Sunday, the competition level is high. We're seeing that every day, and that's exactly how we want it to be.
I want to talk about one more guy that's another rookie that you guys brought in. Cedric Johnson. So he's listed at like 6'3", 260, 4-year contributor at Ole Miss in the SEC. I was really surprised he stuck around to the 6th round because I think he's still only like 21 years old. Everything on his profile just screamed like, hey, here's a guy who's young, talented, and it speaks on the depth that we have. I don't think a lot of people thought we were going to draft an edge, but when you got a guy, to me, that was sitting there that good, it seemed like a no-brainer pick. And kind of how's he doing so far?
He's off to a good start. He had a good spring coming in where a lot of it was learning and getting your feet on the ground and kind of establishing fundamentals and techniques at the position. He is athletic, as you mentioned. He is young, so he's progressing as he should be right now, each and every day. He's in a dogfight at that position, that's for sure. But he's up to the task. You are accurate. When he was sitting there when we took him, he was ranked like Josh Newton was earlier, higher than people. And again, that's another credit to the staff here in terms of the Duke and his guys to picking the very best talent available at that time, guys that were ranked higher and should have been probably taken higher. So we feel fortunate to have gotten Cedric, and we're really going to count on him to be a contributor this year.
That's awesome.
So we got a question here. Do you have from our buddy Robert here, Coach? Do you have any memory of Mike Brown or his father that you would be willing to share with us? And he also says, "Thanks for your time and effort." And the answer, Who Dey for life.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. I have to say I never had the privilege to meet Coach Brown, Mike's father. When I came here, he had passed on, and I wish like crazy I had. I knew certainly about him as a college coach at that time, and the tremendous reputation that he had as a coach, as an innovator, and in all areas of coaching. Highly organized, had playbooks before anybody else, had teaching methods to get the point across to players better than anybody else. Really, you like to see a forefather in football. That's no smoke. That's the fact about Coach Brown and the way he was. And I can share a lot about Mike Brown. I can tell you that he is a very, very sharp football man, a very sharp evaluator of talent. I learned that very quickly. When I first came here and we're talking, he would ask me about players at the linebacker position. And I knew college football, but I hadn't really been in pro football. So he'd say, well, where do you think this player would rank right now? How do you see what round would you take him in? Well, I said, Mr. Brown, I'm not sure what round because I haven't drafted before, but he put me on the spot quickly. And I said, but I can tell you how it ranked him. Well, I learned very quickly from his questioning and also his example on how to position players. And Pete Brown was like that too. Pete Brown had another photographic memory, much like I said Coach Hayes did. Pete Brown could look at the board, and I'm telling you, I'm trying to learn, and I got a pretty good feel. I had a decent feel for the way we staffed maybe 50 linebackers. Pete could tell you 350 players without any notes. I'd be looking at my notes and, oh yeah, well I see so and so and so and so and so and so. I'm doing this. Pete's there looking at him, bing, 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 and I couldn't believe it. But Mike is a well-organized person, a very giving guy. I mean, what he's done with players and in this community, I think is tremendous. People don't know as much about what he does, but he's very, very special certainly to this club and this organization, but to this town. You all are very lucky to have Mr. Brown in control. I promise you that.
That's great to hear. We're getting close to the 30-minute mark, so I don't want to keep you on here too much longer. I will ask you one more thing here. What has coaching with Zach Taylor been like these past several years?
Well, it's been excellent, really. I first of all really appreciate the opportunity that he's given me to be on the staff with him. We coached together in 2014 and 15 in Miami. And when I was coaching the linebackers there, he was coaching the quarterbacks. And I, saw at that time he was a young coach and still is a young coach, but and a darn good one. But I could tell at that point, boy, this guy's got a lot on the ball. He had great connection with players. He was a quick thinker, a quick decision maker. And that's what you kind of have to be in this business. And and he had excellent evaluation skills. And so when I had the privilege to join the staff when he came, I was, number one, elated. Number two, thinking that I could help him in certain ways too, in terms of the fact that I, was just a little older and had a little experience. And he's been open to suggestions, not just from me. He's been open to everybody. He's a good listener, and that's what you have to be successful, I think, in anything. He's an excellent listener, but he's also a good decision maker. He's going to do it the way he wants to do it, and is quick to make not quick, but thorough to make a good decision on what course we're going to take, whatever it may be. So it's been an excellent experience for me. You're learning all the time, and I learned from the players. I learned from watching coaches and talking with coaches, and he's got a very good coaching staff right here. It's not by accident we've had the seasons we've had here, and it's not by accident that the players that have been attracted here to put together they use the word culture this year, but put together the type of team that the Cincinnati Bengals are. It's certainly a credit to him, to Zach and the staff and people that he's put together. So we're anxious to continue to make Houday Nation very, very proud.
Absolutely.
You guys have certainly done that. I think we always got to get, they got to play us from you here before we let you go. We appreciate your time so much, Coach. You've been amazing for us.
Well, I appreciate that. They got to play us.
Yeah,
they got to play us.
Thanks, Coach. Have a good one. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you.
Very much. Houday.
Hey.
That was Coach Mark Duffner, man. Good guest.
That was awesome.
Derek, you're still muted, by the way.
That was awesome.
I don't know if he knows he's muted.
Derek, you're still muted. Okay, we warned him enough. But man, that was awesome to hear. Derek, go ahead, Dale.
It's Derek.
Oh.
I was just about to say, this is one I'm definitely going to have to go back and listen to, because this guy is full of knowledge, and everything he said that I could hear, because freaking service sucks. But everything that he said was just phenomenal.
No, absolutely. When he brought up Josh Newton, when he brought up a Newton, I'm like, oh man, Derek's going to want to get on this one right here. So no, it was great to hear how he said Dax and DJ Turner, because as I think we've all could agree that's something we were a little concerned about. So I'm glad to hear that they're doing really well in practice. That's one thing I was very glad to hear.
Yeah, and the athleticism's never been the concern. That was something you mentioned with them. Like he said, they're still working on a lot of technique with those guys and things like that, consistency. But you can't teach Dax with 4.3 speed, and you can't teach DJ Turner's 4.26 speed. So for the 40-yard dash, so having that speed and athleticism is going to help those guys. I still kind of give the edge to DJ, but it won't surprise me if Dax is out there a lot or ends up winning the job. And it's good, right? I think it's always good. It's good for your team when you've got these camp battles. Best man win.
That's what he said. Unique competitiveness. Everybody's questioning, why do we have 3 punters? You want competitiveness everywhere you possibly can, and that's what I like to hear. And I tell you what, being a coach right now, it sounds like you don't get nap time or anything during this time of year.
No, your day is pretty swamped. It sounds like if you're an NFL coach, start at 6:30. You'd be lucky to leave at 10 or 11 at night, and if you leave out of there, you get home, you go to sleep, and you're back at it again the next morning. What the hell was that, Derek? Was that a dinosaur?
Freaking motorcycles out today, man.
Yeah. Well, another thing that's been.
I know it's a beautiful day and everything, but
yeah. One other thing we want to let you know what's going on. Spectrum has not been our friend lately. I've been dealing with internet issues. We've all been dealing with internet issues, so we're just all lucky that our internet was working the entire time. I'm like, oh man, am I going to have to tell Coach that none of our internets are working? So thank the Lord. At least it's working for some of us right now.
I'm struggling with this COVID, but you guys are having internet issues. Derek's driving, and I'm like, mine seems to be working. I also have Spectrum, and it sucks half the time anyway, so I can't promise anything. But try to hop on here. The more of us, the better to try to get through the show. Since he's willing to take his time. During camp with all the chaos that's going on, to give us 30 minutes is incredible. So that's awesome that we were able to have him on.
Such a good guy, Coach is. I just very generous guy. He's like, I could come on. I'm like, you sure? He's like, absolutely. So that's just when his schedule now, it just makes you even more grateful he was willing to take the time. So that's just like I said, that's just so great to hear. So, I think one thing we're all grateful for is now, camp seems to be going by smooth. It's hot outside. Players, please be drinking water and Gatorade. Just please be staying hydrated. That's all I ask the players right now.
Yeah. And what's crazy is, we'll have actual football next Saturday, right?
Yeah.
We're going to actually be preseason game 1.
Oh, yeah.
August 10th, Tampa Bay, Cincinnati, in Cincinnati. So be going down to Paycor Stadium and enjoying some actual football competition. It's awesome. I'm excited.
Dude, I'm fired up too. I guess we'll talk about it more next week. But I mean, I'm trying to think of a list of players in my head that I'm looking forward to watch preseason. Here's the problem, Dale. My list is too long. It's like a 50-page. It's like a 50-page paragraph. I could think of easily 15 or 20 players I'm excited to watch. That's what I'm excited. I'm sure you guys are excited for the same deal.
Yeah, just set and read the 90-man roster off.
Yep,
that's pretty much it.
And right, exactly.
That's one good thing about the depth that we have is, you're going to see a lot more players than you probably normally would because of all the position battles we've got going on right now.
Yeah, you're going to see guys that are actually going to, make this team or make impacts because they're out there competing. There's so many guys competing that they have to. And, I mean, Coach has said that all the starters, the plan is to play them. Now, we'll see. Like, Jamar's still not practicing. Whatever you want to, there's an talk out there, different things. Who knows? I think it's basically a hold-in, but, hopefully something gets done sooner rather than later. I want to see Jamar out there.
But, Dale, we were talking depth. You know who else has great depth? Midwest Best Barbecue and 50 West Beer. Both have great burger depth and great wing depth at both places. You can't go wrong with any of those. But, yeah, I mean, like you said also, I mean, it's going to be awesome. Yeah, we can't wait either way.
Yeah.
And then,
I don't know if I've got to be on since I had the Dillinator wings. My gosh, dude.
Yes.
Those things were phenomenal.
Well, Dale, I get off at 10:30 Friday. I could just cancel my garage door guy because the people that worked on my deck messed up my garage door. So now he gets to come over. I could just cancel and drive you over some Dillinator wings, buddy.
Yeah. Spend your whole day driving.
Well, I'll keep them on top of my car.
Me eating Dillinator wings, I can't promise that I'd want to do that right now.
Okay, never mind then. Never mind. Well, keep them in your fridge till you feel like eating them.
Yeah.
You know what? We have football tomorrow, don't we?
We sure do. The Hall of Fame.
The Hall of Fame game, but I mean, I know starters aren't even playing. Like, that's just such a waste, it seems like. But, if it was the Bengals playing, I guess I'd care. But,
yeah.
Maybe I'll tune in. Maybe I won't. I don't even know yet.
Yeah, I'm just happy that football's back. That's all I can tell you guys. With the Reds right now, just kind of like saying we're all, giving all the players division rivals, I think football couldn't come at a better time either.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the Texans versus Bears. I know it's Bears. I didn't know who they were playing.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine Joe Mixon's going to be in there playing. I did see like the Madden ratings, and they have him 5th. I'm like, he's never been top 5, has he? He's never been rated top 5. No hate on Joe Mixon, but why, when you leave Cincinnati, you automatically skyrocket up these rankings and these fictional things? And, I feel like Andrew Whitworth was incredible here for like 11 seasons. Yeah, he made some Pro Bowls, but no one recognized him as like as good as I really thought he was. And then the minute he goes to the Rams, it's like, oh, he's just the greatest tackle in football.
Right.
Yep.
It always blows my mind. Like, why?
Speaking of rankings, Joe Burrow being ranked below Tua.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can say with that list is, Burrow's hurt most of the season, so it's a yearly thing. But, yeah, some of it's just a horse shit. I seen Brock Purdy is ranked higher, too. Like, he was ranked today. He's in the 20s.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Brock Purdy's that great. I don't think Tua's that great, but I think he's better than Brock Purdy, but that's my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go back to Chase. Everybody's just so worried about Chase. I mean, he's here at camp. We don't need – I think you said this too, Dale. We don't need to see him play. We know what he can do. I know what Chase can do. I mean, if this is the worst thing to worry about, compared to what I've had to worry about in the past as a Bengals fan, this is a minor detail, in my opinion.
Yeah, we had the injury scare with Hubbard, but it seems like he's going to be okay. And then Miles Murphy, we were worried about a little injury scare, but that seemed to be just cramps as far as has been reported. So, knock on every piece of wood you have. Let's just, you want to get through preseason the best you can. And it's a long season, right? And things are going to happen, and that's why it's good to have depth. So,
exactly. So, let's just everything will work out. Whether Chase gets done this year or next year, I'm just not worried about it. Right? I'm honestly not.
Yeah, I mean, I guess personally, I wish it would just get done because one, prices are only going to go up. We keep seeing that. DJ Moore got $110 million on his extension. Now I know he has a couple years already on his deal, so if you average it out, it's it's not so bad. But it's the same thing with Chase. If you look at it that way and you pay him $35 million per year on the added years you're going to give him, but you say, well, we've got him for these 2 years for less, we can average that out and feel better about ourselves. Then do it. Just get it. Yep. I just like to see it get done. So he's on the field practicing with everybody else. But I am not concerned one bit about, he's going to fall behind. The chemistry with Joe Burrow, he's built it for years. I don't have super concerns about that. We've still got, even after the preseason game next weekend, we've still got a month before the first regular season game. So there's a lot of time. And I'm sure those guys might be throwing or doing things behind the scenes or in the building. There's other times they can get together and just get a little bit of work in if they want to.
Exactly.
He's just trying to make a point.
Dale, what if all of a sudden he can't catch the ball?
Yeah. We were worried about that his rookie year in preseason, right? All freaking out, and then he catches the touchdown. It's we're good. We're good. Never mind.
It was the day before that Super Bowl year, the start of the season, and it's my brother's wedding. And my uncle, who's a big-time Bengals hater but supports the Reds like crazy, came up to me and said something like, "What's this I hear that Chase can't catch?" And I was ready to say, I had a few choice words I was wanting to say to him really badly, but I didn't want to get in trouble at a wedding or anything. But I just said whatever. But I mean, I had people come up to me, and I just couldn't take it anymore. And I think when he made that big catch against the Vikings, I think everybody shut the hell up right after that.
Yeah, it was just kind of.
Why do I all of a sudden want to see Greg losing his shit at a wedding?
Well,
Crip's telling me to have some home style chicken noodle soup. Well, the best I can do, buddy, is Campbell's in a can.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
I ain't no fucking cook, man. That's
nothing wrong with that.
But yeah, so good show, fellas. Be back Friday. Some of us, whose internet's working, who's still kicking. We'll just see who's here on Friday. But we will be joined by Jonathan Hayes, former tight end coach. He was down at training camp last week. He would have came on, but we were like, he was going to try to find a spot. We know how that service is down there, things like that. So bumped it to this week. He said he should be on here Friday at 3:30, back at our normal time. So should be a fun show with Coach Hayes, and he's been down at camp. We can get his opinion. I put the graphic as Mike Gesicki, so being a former NFL tight end himself for 12 seasons and coaching tight ends for a bazillion seasons, I think it'll be good to get his opinion on all the tight ends, including Mike Gesicki and the guys we drafted. It should be great to, get his opinion on this stuff among many other topics. So should be a good episode again on Friday, guys.
Absolutely.
Tanner Huddy. Don't forget about Tanner Huddy.
No. And that's the thing, man. It's he's just going to get bumped out. You can't write him off. No. The guy makes plays.
No, you can't, man.
Freaking Jake Browning doing his best to try to talk up Gesicki, and all he does is enamors about Tanner Hudson.
And yes, Jonathan Hayes was the Battlehawks head coach a couple years ago. He's currently athletic director at which school, Greg? Because Moeller. Because I know how you people are with these Cincinnati high school stuff, and I say the wrong one.
Yeah, you definitely can. Hey, another cool fact, his son Jackson plays for Lakers, so I'm sure maybe a LeBron question will be brought up. What's it like playing with LeBron and all that?
Well, I just wonder if Greg's going to ask him about his daughter being in a swimsuit edition of Sports Illustrated, and then if he's going to find Greg, hunt him down, and beat Greg's ass. Greg's internet went out, Derek. Oh shit, my internet's out.
No. I don't. No.
Now, Coach Hayes, I'm telling you, I ain't never seen that. I got too much respect for you. Now, Greg, on the other hand, I think he looked at it, Coach.
No,
I'm just saying. All right, guys, good show, man. Appreciate everybody that tuned in. Appreciated the questions, the comments in the chat. You guys are fantastic as always. Yeah, maybe we'll get Greg to hit the dot bot for Coach Hayes on Friday. We'll see how things are going. You know, you gotta fill that vibe out. Is this a person who would like this,
Fill
or
him
just
out,
be
yeah.
terrified? You know. So. Yeah. Jackson Hayes is his son. 8th overall pick in the draft out of Texas, and I think he's with the Lakers now, right?
No, he was with the Pelicans from 2018 to 21. I think he played overseas for 1 year. Now he's with the Lakers now.
Yeah, I think he was with the Lakers last year, and he signed this year. So
yes,
be going second year with the Lakers and the LeBron Lakers. Speaking of, how did Team USA do? I know they were playing at 3 o'clock. Well, South Sudan, I'll just say this. I have watched 0 Olympics, but I did see the score where South Sudan almost beat us before. I'm like, the fuck? Now we're playing them again. Okay, we're up by 20 with 3 minutes left. Crisis averted. So, LeBron James, go get your gold medal, son. That's the last championship you're probably going to see. All right, guys.
Basketball.
Appreciate. Yeah, basketball. That was your 30 seconds of basketball. You're welcome. We'll give you some Greg dancing on the way out. Who dat, guys?
Bengals and Bruce, the podcast crew. Della up an orange arrow, pork chop too. Greg Luther, Big Savage, Top Bud King, Yoshi Lover, they bring the zing. Cincinnati Bengals, the pride of the city. Join the fun with pork chop, boys, man.